Hello everyone! So this last week has been quite busy for the tech industry. AMD released their AMD RX VEGA 64 card, and with it there's been quite a bit of controversy. According to some initial reports, the card had some initial back-end rebate that was going on to lower the price of the card and let retailers sell it for the MSRP or SEP. I've seen some people asking what SEP stands for. It means the suggested e-tail price, and I suspect you'll see more companies starting to use that now that retail has kind of started to slow down exponentially and e-tail online has picked up dramatically. The rumors started with a forum post, and then Gamers Nexus reached out to some of the add-in board partners and asked them some questions, and they got answers that kind of confirmed the forum post. And then the most recent thing was AMD released a very vague statement saying that they weren't expecting the cards to be as popular as they were, and they're restocking them, and you should expect to start seeing them popping up again soon. If you haven't already seen it, Jayztwocents did a really good video explaining what we know so far and what's going on. So if you want to check out that video, it will be linked in the description below. As well, I'll include links to all of the appropriate articles here that we're going to talk about. So let's take a look at the forum post and all of that good stuff. So here's the forum post. It was posted by Gibbo, who is an OC UK staff member. It was posted on the forums of the overclockers.co.uk. And it basically said here that AMD was rebating early launch sales to allow them to hit the price target, the SEP target, on the standalone black cards which had no games, and this was a launch only price, and AMD are presently saying that it will be withdrawn in the near future. When or if it happens is unknown, but they don't want people to be shocked if the cards jump by nearly $100 or £100 in this case. So next up here we have the Gamers Nexus article. Steve from Gamers Nexus reached out and contacted some of the add-in board partners, and essentially they were told that Gibbo was right regarding the AMD rebate and subsequent price jump. AMD purportedly provided the top retailers and e-tailers with a $499 price on VEGA 64 in order to reduce spending for retailers and leverage this to force the lower price and kind of make sure that they sold it at the MSRP. This whole part is very concerning because we don't know if that means that VEGA's real MSRP is $599 or if that means that VEGA's real MSRP is $399 because they were able to give them a $100 discount on the $499 price to guarantee that they would be able to sell it at that price. Back-end rebates are tricky like that, especially when the company refuses to come out and say what their intentions really were. So the AMD statement says, Radeon RX VEGA 64 demand continues to exceed their expectations. AMD is working closely with its partners to address this demand. Their initial launch quantities included standalone RX VEGA 64 at SEP, or suggested e-tailer pricing, of $499, RX VEGA 64 black packs at an SEP of $599, and Aqua packs at an SEP of $699. They're working with partners to restock all SKUs of the RX VEGA. They are working with partners to restock all the SKUs of RX VEGA 64, including the standalone cards and gamer packs over the next few weeks, and you should expect quantities of VEGA to start arriving in the coming days. So unfortunately, that didn't really address the issue. It said that their initial launch quantities were at that SEP of $499, but it didn't confirm whether or not that means that was enforced by a back-end rebate. Now Steve from Gamers Nexus is very diligent, and he tried his best to get some more answers out of them. He asked if that meant that they would be restocked at the $500 mark, and of course AMD's response was that they can't control pricing, so they couldn't confirm that. So that statement by AMD is quite disappointing because it essentially sidesteps all of the questions that have kind of had the internet outraged at them. The question of whether or not this back-end pricing is the reason that the MSRP can be $499, whether or not the MSRP is actually higher. So one thing they might have been trying to do was to keep the cards out of the hands of the cryptocurrency miners. Now that would be all and good, and they did mention that in some of their press stuff, but the problem is they just recently released an RX VEGA 64 driver that is designed for blockchain calculations. It's designed for cryptocurrency mining. So it would seem that if they really didn't want to support the cryptocurrency mining, then they wouldn't have bothered to make a special driver just for it. So regardless, at this point, it will be interesting to see what goes on with the Vega pricing, and with RX VEGA 56 going to be launching here soon. Hopefully we'll find out some more information and get a firm answer on whether or not the MSRP of these cards is actually higher than what they're saying it is. Now, it does have a lot of reviewers quite upset because they based their entire review recommendations on the pricing of this card, that it's going to be at $499. At $499, it's the same price range as the GTX 1080. It's not the greatest card in the world to start with, but if the price jumps up to $599, then basically nobody will be able to recommend it because it's encroaching on the 1080 Ti market there, and at that point there is no contest at all. Vega's been quite a disappointment for me. I was really hoping that Radeon would be able to put out a card that would go kind of toe-to-toe with the 1080 Ti. I am interested in whether or not the next generation of cards is going to use a similar design as Ryzen did and use the Infinity fabric to kind of link together a bunch of different GPU modules. That might be an interesting development if they choose to do that, do a modular design with their graphics cards as well as their CPUs. But right now, basically you have Ryzen and Threadripper, which did really well. The CPU side is awesome. Their marketing team basically was dead on. They didn't release a bunch of erroneous information. And then the Radeon Technologies group, the GPU side, has basically dropped the ball. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens with RX VEGA, and hopefully we'll get some answers once RX VEGA 56 launches. Hope maybe not, it's hard to say. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Terrius Talks Tech. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. Don't forget to like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed already, then be sure you do that. Every subscriber helps, and I make all these videos just for you guys because you're awesome. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.